Welcome to Bodies, Borders, and Breakthroughs, your podcast for a deep dive into the minds shaping global medical education. I'm your host, Dr. Thirusha Naidu, and today we speak to Professor Vishna Devi, who is currently CEO, Provost, and Professor of Medical Education at Newcastle University Medicine in Malaysia. Her areas of research are health professionals education, faculty development. I want to start with a question that is quite simple and straightforward. Can you share your story of how you, as a woman of color, firstly came to the world of science, medicine, and medical education? What are the experiences you had in terms of people? And I'm talking here specifically about friends, family, and mentors that shaped you on your early journey.
Thank you, Tirusha. So, my own background, I'm the eldest daughter, oldest child in a family of 3 kids. Mom was a teacher in a primary school. So, you can see some of the dots connecting, having a mom as a teacher. The importance of education was always there. So, presents were always books. I remember Dad getting Reader's Digest subscription or National Geographic subscription, and that was in a small town. But unfortunately for us, Mom died when we were quite younger, and I think that had a big impact because I think the three of us and me being the eldest, we thought, okay, we only have Dad, and Dad's been so great to support us. We must make him and Mom proud. So we thought education is something for us to be successful in and get to university. And why it was even more important is because Mom and Dad didn't go to universities; they went to colleges, so they didn't get a university education. So I wanted to be first in university for the family, graduate, support the family. But also, I think it's the culture, my own Tamil culture. Um, where your parents are very important, where you say Mada, Pita, Guru, Devam. So parents are really, really important to us, and their vision we want to aspire to make them proud of us, right? And I still remember when we make our prayers, mostly people will be praying to God and everything, but for us, we were taught Goddess Saraswati. We were taught to pray to Goddess Saraswati. Give me education, give me almost lifelong learning abilities.
Yes.
So I think it's that family background that motivated me to, okay, not only go for university, but also to actually become an educator, because Mom was a teacher, right? So Maya Angelou said, when you walk into a room, you bring your supporters with you. It can be family members, it can be your friends, they may have passed, but you carry the love they have for you into that room, right? Then that glow, that confidence, that charisma you have, it will shine. So I've always carried all our supporters, my uncles, aunts, my father, who were there, when Mom died, carried their confidence, their love, and their aspirations.
I'm
I
hearing
hope it
your
makes sense.
story. It absolutely makes sense to me. And I don't know if it would make sense to our audience, but it makes such close sense to me because I also grew up hearing that story of, Mada Pita Guru Devam, because it is, for audience
Yes.
that doesn't understand, it's mother, father, teacher, and then God. And that's the order that you should live your life in, with reverence and respect. It's so crucially important. It's something that we learn from so early on. So you're saying that when you got this just amazing opportunity to go to Cambridge, it must have been so daunting and scary.
I still remember arriving in UK, and that was for my PhD. So I got a full scholarship to do my PhD at Cambridge. And they have the college system, and you meet people from all walks of life. And I was so embarrassed of my accent, my Malaysian accent, because there were certain words that I would pronounce it differently, or in Malaysian language, because there is this term "la." You will hear Malaysians talking with "la."
Yes.
And actually it's a term of endearment, right?
Yes,
We
yes.
wouldn't write in English using that term, but when we speak, we use it. And
Right.
some will be joking with me, like, hey, what is this, la? But I took it with a stride. For me, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, that's what makes me unique. I needed to have that confidence to say that, hey, this is what makes me unique. I'm not going to speak like others, as long as
Mhm.
they understand me, right? and
Right.
and that lesson carried later when I became an educator and also took more senior leadership roles. When students came to me complaining about lecturers' accents, I was very clear of my message to the student. You say, I beg your pardon, can
Mhm.
you repeat this for me? Or can I clarify this is the point? But you don't
Right.
complain to me that you couldn't understand a person because of their accent. You make an effort to understand.
They need to meet each other
Because
halfway.
exactly, you make an effort. Yes. Meet each other halfway because that's going to be with your patients.
Absolutely. But I'm also
Yes.
reflecting on the fact that, and I think you would have had this experience as well, as you move in medical education, you're engaging with so many diverse people, and then the person's accent just becomes who they are. Like I listen to you, and it sounds to me like you don't have any accent. I just hear Vishna. And it's the same with Dutch colleagues and Canadian colleagues and American colleagues. When you get to know the person, they're not the accent or the background. You get to know the person. I don't know if you found that as well.
No, you're absolutely right. You get to know the person, right? The 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 accent, or what you wear, how you look, it's okay. You're identifiable in a certain ethnic group and this and that, right? But what really matters is the person and what we offer, the respect, the communication, the more deeper relationship, right?
Right.
But these experiences need to be lived, to be experienced, right?
You move seamlessly between countries, especially in your field or in your academic field as a world-class medical educator. What are, in terms of academic environments, what has struck you across the different countries and fields if you compare sort of your biochemistry science field and medical education? Just reflecting on how academic
Yeah,
environments
yeah,
work.
yeah. So my experience in UK was really biochemistry, and I did my PhD there and everything.
Mm.
And to be honest, uh, well, any biochemist will say this. Really, it's about reactions, relationship, understanding. Really trying to understand why something happens, right? But it is evidence based. There is a structure to it, and I think
Mhm.
that's what I see the relationship with medical education. So in medical education, we talk about theories, we talk about understanding a phenomenon. I see
Mhm.
that similarity. I see the impact on when we talk about an individual or let's say team approach when you're looking at it in terms of medical education. I see its relationship, its effect,
Right. Mhm.
impact. So I do think there are similarities. There are differences. There are similarities, but I like to take some of the similarities and carry it with me into medical education. So that helped me uh, transition, I think, a bit better.
But to move on, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is about gender in medical education and medical education authorship. You're a leader. You're a voice that speaks with confidence, but yet with a lot of compassion and inclusion in your voice. You just walk that line between being a confident person, but also being able to challenge when there is something to challenge. What guidance would you give for younger women, especially women of color from countries like Malaysia, other countries in Asia and Africa, about how to negotiate and navigate those big wide world spaces that you do so well?
I think, as I said, one of the things is if you face that resistance or barrier, right? Um, and you will, even I'm sure both of us, we still will face some challenges. You can, if someone is silent, their face can show it. You read it. how they were saying, like, or they will roll their eyes. What is this person on about, right? But I think when that barriers come, I think you got to learn not to take it personal. I know it's easier said than done, but when someone tries to block or say something that is very hurtful and everything, first thing is we must know it's that person's problem and not our problem.
Yes.
You know, I think this is important because sometimes we tend to say, oh, what did I do? Did I say something wrong? Did I react different? Should I have reacted differently? Understanding that when someone behaves unprofessionally and says something that is really out of terms or no context, it's that person's problem, right? And it's not for us, it's not our burden. It's not our burden. If you want to, you can try to correct it or whatever, but it's okay to just leave that toxicity and move away. Because I think sometimes we tend to, especially because you said the younger ones, right? A lot of people are carrying that burden. Oh, I need to correct this. I need to speak for others. I need to do that. Sometimes it's okay. It's all right. Give yourself a break.
Yeah.
And move away.
Yeah.
That's one. The second thing is why I say don't take it personal is that other person, to give the benefit of doubt, could be having so many other problems, so many other insecurities, so many other things, which we don't know. We totally do not know. So if they react like that and put barriers to us, again, move away. Because for the one person you move away, you might find another person who will open a door for you. So constantly seek conversations, meet people. Don't worry about if somebody says they're too busy to talk to you, and just move away. Go and speak to someone else. Because you need to know what you want, right? You need to know what you want. You want to get a connection. You want to develop a research project. You want to get some ideas on something, right? You may want a referee. There are a lot of different people from all around the world, right? So never take that rejection or that closing personal. And if one door closes, there will be others. And today with internet, and I'm sounding so like an auntie saying internet, with online accessibility to communicate, right? You can meet people. You don't have to go for a conference to meet people. You can send an email and ask the person, do you have 30 minutes? I'd like to talk to you about this. Frame yourself, say what you want to say, and connect. But if you see wrongdoing, really bad wrongdoing, then I would say, if it's really wrongdoing, you must confront it. You must confront it, but it's not your burden. You got to highlight it, if possible, to the authorities. If it's possible, again, assess your situation. Authorities, because I give you one example, Tirusha. Sometimes
Yes,
when
please.
you are you're submitting a paper, right? You're submitting a paper to a journal, and some of the reviewers can write, honestly, very demotivating, personal, very, thank God it doesn't happen as often. It doesn't happen, and reviewers do fantastic jobs of giving constructive feedback and everything, yeah. But sometimes some reviewers take it very personal, make value judgments, or show their bias and everything. I tell you, the old me, the younger me, would have, okay lah, rejected, finish. But I'm thinking this can be easily called out by writing to the editor. You have to say
activism.
Yes, because if probably the reviewer doesn't know that they have done this, they have misjudged. Sometimes, who knows, right? That they have misjudged, they have misread, and they are making a value judgment or very personal attack in their terms or something like that. So this, I'm just giving one example. So then you can
True.
write to the deputy editor or to the editor and say, here are, I think I accept the review, my paper may not be, suitable, but here's what you could have done better.
Yes.
Please consider this,
Mhm.
because if not, this will perpetuate. I
This
don't
is
want what
very
I went through,
useful.
what I went through to be experienced by another person.
So
Talk to
what
the
is
editor. Yeah, talk to the editor. That go through that lines. And to be
Mhm.
honest, if they don't take it, is it worth to send anything to the journal?
Exactly.
Just to, you asked me, and I saw one of that you talked about moving from biomedical to medical education, and I have to say that move, one big difference I see is the educator community is very supportive. I have to say
Yeah.
that,
Yes.
because I was previously in the proteomics and biomedical world. I mean, good people, but very competitive, because grants and everything. Your survival depends on the grants that you get, whether you're first to get it out, the impact. There is more pressure in terms of your role, because with educators we have our role as educators in the program.
Yes.
Our grants are competitive but not very big. And
Yes.
so we are happy, and we are a smaller community, so we are happy when, hey, people are coming in, bring them in, and everything.
Mhm.
So yes, but having said that, there will be still people,
Mhm.
that may not see things just like how you see, who may be a bit competitive than
Mhm.
others, may not be as welcoming, but generally it's a good group. And that's why someone who went into medical education in the late 30s and 40s, to be honest, because I started
Mhm.
differently, right?
Yes, of
I
course.
felt welcome. I mean, I felt
Absolutely.
I had success because there were people who opened doors for me. So one Canadian that opened the door for me is the
Mhm.
late Professor Karen Mann.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so she I met her when she came to Malaysia. I talked to her. She saw my interest in it. Then she said, Vishna, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't we, let's look at this thing together. I mean, she's from another place, I'm from another place, but something brought us together. We had nice holidays together, you know, and then you connect, right? COVID
Right.
and the Ottawa conference brought Shubha Ramani to my doorstep, right?
Right.
So people come and connect with you with different ways and everything. So I think it's a and Shubha was also mentored by Karen Mann. And when we discussed, we said, oh my God, see how Karen has impacted us. So is it not our duty to open doors for others? It's our duty.
Pay pay it forward. I agree.
Yeah.
The community of medical education is very supportive and very interactional. I think what people haven't been conscious of or haven't talked about enough is how it's such a global community. Everyone talks about medical education, and no one talks enough about how it's such a global community, and there's so much going on. And we don't promote enough how global that
Yeah.
community is in terms of its interaction and engagement. But we've taken quite a bit of your time. I
Yeah.
want to say, is there something
Yeah.
else you want to say? But
No,
do you
I
want
just
to?
wanted to say on that last point. So
Yes, sure.
um maybe that is that small frustration I also have, because the narratives and the value that we put to the narratives, there's still an hegemony from a few countries, right?
Yes, yes.
So it's a bit of a frustration, because we are so rich and diverse, and how we train across the world. I'm so curious. I want to know how,
Mhm.
when I visited your beautiful country last year, I
Yes,
was surprised because the history of South Africa is also quite recent in a way, right?
it is.
And
Mhm.
and I met colleagues who studied in different medical schools because of that segregation, but
Yes,
now are working together in one
yes.
faculty, right? I mean, it's amazing, because you started your journey differently as a student, and now you're working as colleagues, right? And for me,
Mhm.
we can learn from that. So I want to learn that narrative. But having said that, I'm hopeful because we are in a supportive community and we are now becoming more confident with our voice.
Mhm.
It's our responsibility. So as you said, I think one of the things you reminded me, we still have to bring our research. We need to do it. Nobody's going to do it for us.
Nobody is.
So that narrative is there. Yes, historically or it's there. It's there's a hegemony, but
Mhm.
it is a very porous border. It's
True.
a breakable border. It's a
True.
breakable border. And
Mm.
how we break it is we bring our narratives lah, so that we learn from each other. We really have to learn from each other. I don't think as a species, right, we can survive if we do not really learn from one another and learn from each other's mistakes and also learn from each other's successes. Yeah.
Well, this is part of what I'm trying to do with this podcast is bring people together because I think people they do it, but they don't know they're doing it and they don't think consciously about it. So once we speak to you, for you to start thinking about it, and once you listen to other people's voices, to ask these questions in a different way. But
Yeah.
all of that to say, Dr. Vishna Nadarajah, thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you. Your vision is so great, your creativity, but I appreciate your warmth and your generosity, and I just look forward to working with you and talking to you in the future. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to be able to talk to you again in the future. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Terima kasih. That's how you say it in Malaysia. Terima kasih. Receive my love.
We say in South Africa, Siabonga Gakulu. It means we all thank you so much.